Ah, mes amis, gather close and let an old king tell you a tale of another throne, one far less fortunate than mine. Now don't mistake me for some snobby monarch with a wine glass and a powdered wig. I prefer chainmail to lace and a sword over silverware. But trust me when I say this. If you thought Camelot had its drama, wait until you hear what happened in France, when the people got tired of eating air and watching their king throw banquets during a famine. Yes, this is the story of how a crown met the guillotine, and not metaphorically. Before we dive into sliced heads and stormed prisons, I must ask a royal favor. If you enjoy history served with a side of sarcasm and a bit of royal wit, consider giving this tale a like, subscribing to my humble court of content, and leaving a comment with your favorite revolution or your least favorite monarch. We've all got one. Now then, the year is 1789. France is broke, not just poor, but flat out, we spent everything on wars and wigs bankrupt. The people, starving, the nobles, drunk on luxury, and King Louis XVI, bless his royal soul, he couldn't rule a chessboard, much less a kingdom on the brink. Imagine trying to fix a crumbling economy with bread prices soaring, and instead of acting, the king thinks, let's call a meeting. Thus, the Estates General, a grand old show where the clergy, nobles, and peasants pretend they're equals. Spoiler alert, they're not. Here's where it gets spicy. The Third Estate, made up of commoners who actually worked for a living, decided they'd had enough. They broke away, declared themselves the National Assembly, and met on a tennis court. Yes, a tennis court, swearing not to disband until they had a constitution. Nothing says down with the monarchy like revolution in gym clothes. Then came July 14th, 1789. Remember the date? For it's France's version of Hold My Wine. The people stormed the Bastille, a prison that was more symbol than strategy, but symbols matter. It was the beginning of the end for the monarchy. Heads would roll, and not just figuratively. Louis, the poor lad, tried playing both sides. He invited the assembly, pretended to listen, and then secretly plotted to flee. Classic royal move. Only he got caught, wearing a disguise, at a checkpoint. Because nothing screams, I am not the king, like riding in a royal carriage with guards in fake mustaches. Genius. Enter the guillotine. Oh yes, that beloved French invention. The iPhone of 18th century justice. Efficient, sharp, and very, very public. Louis lost his head in 1793, and Marie Antoinette followed, despite never actually saying, let them eat cake. Apparently, misquotes can be fatal. What followed was not peace, but chaos. The reign of terror, and no, that's not a medieval video game, began. Led by Robespierre, a man so obsessed with virtue, he thought anyone not revolutionary enough deserved a date with the blade. Thousands died, many of them just regular folk who looked at the wrong noble the wrong way. It was like a never-ending royal purge, with less logic and more yelling. Eventually, the revolution ate its own children. Robespierre himself ended up headless. Ironic, really. And when the dust finally settled, France looked around and realized that liberty, equality, and fraternity were exhausting. So they handed power to a short Corsican man with a complex the size of an empire, Napoleon Bonaparte. So what do we learn, dear viewers? That monarchy without mercy leads to revolt. That hunger will always speak louder than bloodlines. And that if your country is broke, maybe cut back on gold-plated forks before the people come for your neck. Figuratively, and then literally. History isn't just about dates and dead kings. It's a mirror. And revolutions? They're what happens when people are silenced for too long. Let us not forget that even the mightiest crown can be melted down by the fire of the people's will. And now, noble viewer, if you've enjoyed this royal romp through revolutionary France, do bestow upon this video a humble like. Subscribe to the Court of King Arthur for more tales from the shadows of time, and declare your thoughts in the comments. Would you have stormed the Bastille? Or would you have disguised yourself in a wig and fled like Louis? Until next time, may your heads remain firmly attached and your history uncensored.